Come along and join April Cheek-Messier, president of the National D-Day Memorial in Bedford, Virginia. You've been here since the birth, haven't you?
Since came on just prior to our opening, June 6th of 2001.
It is fascinating that it took so long to get a memorial.
Yes, and it was because of a D-Day veteran himself who realized the need and that most people had no idea what D-Day was about. And he took it upon himself, this mission, to create a National D-Day Memorial so people would be educated and bring awareness to it.
Give us a word picture of what you would experience. I mean, here we are in a field tent.
That's right.
That's really cool.
When visitors come here, I think they really get a sense of this monument is very unique. There's a lot of symbolism here at the monument. They really get to experience what it must have been like for those troops, for example, who hit the beaches that morning, coming off those Higgins craft. You see a representation of the invasion scene where the bullets are popping in the water. It's what it looks like, and it really gives you a feel for what they must have encountered and the tremendous odds they had against them. Looking at those German bunkers on the cliffs, and
You have the German bunkers
we do.
here.
We have the German bunker so they can get a sense of what the German bunker looked like, just really what they were up against. But also they get to see a list of those who died that day. There's nowhere else in the world that has a complete listing of who died on June the 6th, 1944. It took us over a decade to do that, but there were 4,413 who died on June the 6th, and we have all of them on our memorial wall, and no place else in the world does.
I think one of the most powerful and poignant aspects of visiting here are the sculptures.
Yes, yeah. The sculptures here are very moving. We had an artist out of Kansas, Jim Brothers, who did those for us, who actually used teenage models because, most of these young troops were, some of them were as young as 16 years old on D-Day, 16, 17, 18 years old, going in on the beaches. And so the sculptures really give you this powerful sense of what they had in front of them.
And another disconnect is you think of this memorial being in Washington, D.C. or Arlington or somewhere. Here you are in the countryside, Bedford, Virginia.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. That is probably one of the most sobering, chilling aspects of the why.
Yes, we get asked that question a lot. This is a national monument to D-Day with an international focus as well. Why is it here in tiny rural Bedford, Virginia? Bedford, Virginia sustained the highest per capita loss of any other community in our country on D-Day. This was a tiny community of about 3,200 people, and there were 37 Bedford boys who served in Company A of the 116th Infantry Regiment, 29th Division on D-Day, who would go in on that first wave. This was the only National Guard unit to go in on the first wave on D-Day. And out of those 37 young men, 19 from Company A were killed almost within the first 15 minutes of the invasion, one from Company F, leaving a total of 20 Bedford boys on D-Day. It was devastating for this tiny community. And so Congress decided that this was a very powerful place to put the nation's monument to D-Day because Bedford is just representative of all these communities across our country who nurtured these citizen soldiers and sailors and airmen and sent them to war, and so many of them never came home.
Today, you have honor flight visits here and other pilgrimage with veterans who served, some who were at D-Day.
Right. We have many, many veterans who come, particularly our honor flight groups on their way to D.C., stop off here, and we love having them. It's sad now because we're losing so many of our World War II veterans. The average age is 92 and 93 years old now, but how wonderful that they're still coming and they still get to experience and they get to know that we're passing on the lessons and legacy of their generation.
A few moments ago when we were walking through the parking lot, there was a guy from D-Day. Tell us about him.
That's right. That was Andrew Jakk Shields, who was with the 411th AAA Battalion on D-Day. Just one of our supporters, one of our veterans who loves to come up here and talk to students, and he's actually on his way right now to talk to some students that we have.
What an honor and a pleasure.
Well, thank you very much. It's a story that's very important that we pass on, and so I'm delighted and honored to be a part of it. We're about 3.5 hours from Washington, D.C. Our website is dday.org. Call us at 540-586-D-Day and get more information about us. April Cheek-Messier. I am president of the National D-Day Memorial Foundation.
Come along and join April Cheek-Messier, president of the National D-Day Memorial in Bedford, Virginia. You've been here since the birth, haven't you?
Since came on just prior to our opening, June 6th of 2001.
It is fascinating that it took so long to get a memorial.
Yes, and it was because of a D-Day veteran himself who realized the need and that most people had no idea what D-Day was about. And he took it upon himself, this mission, to create a National D-Day Memorial so people would be educated and bring awareness to it.
Give us a word picture of what you would experience. I mean, here we are in a
Yes,
field tent.
that's right.
That's really cool.
When visitors come here, I think they really get a